Hey folks, welcome to the stream this morning, 8:12 a.m. Welcome, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you are in the world, tuning in on michaeljohnson.tv, on youtube.com now. I used to say twitch.tv/michaeljohnsonTV, but that's no longer the case because we've graduated, it feels like, from Twitch. Into YouTube and keeping the streams a bit more present on YouTube, maybe. But here we are. Thanks so much for tuning in. It's good to be here. It's fun for me to have this practice. And I'm on vacation this week and doing this photo safari, vacances photo, photography, vacation up to different locations. Today we'll go to the nature. Into nature in the park in Ile Bizarre, Bizarre Island, just on the west end of Montreal, west side of the island of Montreal, just off of the island of Montreal, but still part of the city of Montreal. Ile Bizarre, it's its own island, its own agglomeration, its own neighborhood, and there's a lovely park there with a floating sort of pontoon thing, walkway. You can go over the swamp, over the water, and there's trees and lovely thing, and we'll be there relatively in the evening to get the good light, the nice blue hour, right around sunset, before and after sunset. So we'll have some sun shining, and then we'll have the sun behind the trees, a bit of nice sky and clouds reflected in the water. Should be a lovely and magical time, of course. So, what are we up to today in the stream? Well, first segment is going to be a little return on yesterday's photography expedition, which was at a abandoned building, industrial area in Montreal. And let me just get things set up on screen too here so we're ready to show you what we're up to. And I've shown this building previously. This is an old abandoned Canada malting factory here. Again, the Lachine Canal, the old industrial heart of Montreal, the industrial heritage of Montreal, Canada malting, some nice silos, lots of graffiti. There's this little pink house on the top of the building here that people go up. Somehow, some folks have some little secret access to the building, and they climb up the staircase on the outside. There's like a bus stop right here. That's interesting. That must be around the other side. This pink building. Yeah. Oops, zoomed in too far. There we go. Yeah, and it's got like around Christmas they put a candy cane on the building, and it's quite cute, quite funny. And I showed you previously some nice slow-mo videos that I took at this weir over here where the water falls down. The old locks system, still operational. And yesterday we were around this area here in this abandoned factory here, walking around the outside, and lots of graffiti, broken windows, stuff everywhere, just crap everywhere, a trashy zone. And the challenge is really to, yeah, find something beautiful amidst the trash of this building. Broken windows, tons and tons of graffiti, and just plants and just crash all around. So it's interesting, like this abandoned building, right? Such a good big surface area, right near an industrial area, but also near a sort of gentrifying workers, historically more workers housing here, caught in between two highways and a highway interchange. There's the Turcotte, the mega hospital, this highway towards downtown Ville-Marie, this highway towards the South Shore, and there you are, caught in the middle here, this neighborhood, cut by two highways, one there, massive road here, another big road that goes under here, and a train tracks here. And it's a lovely neighborhood, though. And I ate at Tacos Frida. Shout out to Louis Francois Marcotte and his French Canadian show there where he helps restaurants get back on their feet and grow and be well and be prosperous. And one of the episodes was about Tacos Frida, one of the seasons they visited Tacos Frida. Nice little family restaurant, great tacos. They also visited Arthur's Nosh Bar, Haven't been there, but walked through here and had a little drink in the Terrasse Saint Ambroise. That's the McCausland Brewery Distillery. Here, there's a nice patio right next to the Lachine Canal. Nice biking and stuff there. So, a lovely area. We'll zoom out a little bit. There's Montreal, Mount Royal, downtown. As I've shown, that's the Lachine Canal. This is the big Turcotte Highway interchange, the 15, the 20, the what used to be the 720 towards downtown. Sunken highway through downtown over here, and big highway through here over to the new bridge where the new REM light rail also circulates around here. Lots of work was done here. Billions of dollars were spent on this highway structure to essentially rebuild it the same as it was before. But anyway, that's a rant for another time. Let's jump back to our abandoned building right here. And let's jump into the photos in Lightroom. Here we are in Lightroom. So I like to do little short videos. So if I can bring up my desktop audio, it's a bit of a challenge here. I did a little sort of panoramic of the place and just giving you a feel for where we are. No, okay, you're not hearing the audio. We got to do some audio stuff here. 1 second.
Aujourd'hui, zone trash. Grosse usine désaffectée à Côte-Saint-Paul. On trouve du beau dans du trash.
Pardon for the French there. I was saying big abandoned factory building in Côte Saint-Paul, and we got to find beauty. You got to find beauty amidst the trash. Right? So I'm looking here. We're out the outside of the building, and there's our crew. There's our crew over there. One person, a couple people missing. We're 6 people plus our mentor. And oh, there's someone else there taking pictures of various things. So you're looking at the graffiti, the broken windows, the shapes, the forms, the foliage, the kind of look of it. You're zooming in, you're zooming out. And really, it's an exercise in sort of zenness, finding some little bit of graffiti that's got a nice shape. So that's really, I enjoy that part. I really do enjoy that, finding abstract shapes and beauty amidst what you might sort of, how the hell am I going to take nice photos in this place? Well, you find nice photos, you create nice photos, abstract ones, interesting shapes and textures and walls and perspectives and all of that stuff, I mean, comes into play. And it's really a great, great, great challenge there. And that's why we're up to there. That's why it's fun. So let's get into it now, and we'll, oopsie, whatever I did there, I didn't want to do that. Keyword suggestions, rainbow. No, I didn't want to make a rainbow out of this one. So, for example, here's our first photo of the day. Just graffiti and some chains and a bit of texture here, and this sort of, you want to ultimately compose something that has an element, a strong element, ideally in the rule of thirds sort of composition, but whatever. I mean, rules are rules. Rules are meant to be broken. But there's a little poignée de porte, a little door handle, some chain coming down. But ultimately, yeah, like a little bit boring, maybe this one. This was a bit neat. I mean, there's just many sort of levels, many layers here. The initial window that's broken with some to have had okay, reconnection successful. Not sure what happened there. We may have lost our something or other. Internet? Did my internet go down? No? Okay. Just had some weird messages from OBS. Pardon that. Reconnecting. Okay, good. Yeah, this one was quite pleasant. Zooming in again just on that one window. You want to give your eye, give the eye of the beholder places to sort of promenade around. And that's ultimately what we get here with these textures in the book, and then you come around here, find some more textures, find this line, lock onto this line, come around. So it's quite, you want to compose things in a way that keeps your eye circulating and promenading around inside the photo. Let's make this full screen, get rid of the menus maybe. There we go. Nice. Yeah, this was just a nail in a piece of concrete. So it looked like a little character. I think I'm taking this with my Fuji X100T, 23 millimeters f2. So purposefully narrow depth of field, trying to focus here, but didn't really work. It's a bit out of focus. Actually, the focus is more down here. So maybe I took another one, was a bit better. Not quite. This one was kind of nice though. Was that with my, yeah, again with the Fuji. So this same little nail from the side. So just like letting your eye promenade around, look at the detail, look at the rust. Oh, there's a bit of this plane, this part of the plane in here is in focus, and can follow the structure, follow the texture, and tootle around in the image. Another one here, I think I took that with my Nikon zoomed in. So I moved far away. The other photo, I was really close in, right up to it. This one I'm farther away, compressing the background in that way and seeing other stuff, right? This one is also kind of, oops, a bit boring in a sense. There's only this one nail. There's nothing else really to look at. So it's kind of a boring subject. So it's good to pair something up with something else. There's not really anything else strong in this image, but as a general principle, that's something interesting to sort of consider. Yeah, graffiti, trying to extract some sort of abstract and beautiful shapes out of this mess of graffiti. And it was kind of these little wisps on the side that attracted my eye, and the sort of, spiraling in, kind of put that at the about the rule of thirds and sort of try to have something else on the side. But didn't quite work out the way I had hoped. And you never know while you're there taking photos, because you're there at the place. You're experiencing the place as a place on its own. And then when you go home and you share the photos with yourself, your future self, there's something there for a message to future self while you're taking photos. Hey, I saw this. I thought it would be cool. I thought it would be neat. I did my best with what I had at the time. That's a bit of a Zen meditation around photography. You show up at a place, you have an experience of the place. You try to capture that emotional experience in the photos, but it doesn't always work. It's hard to do that. That's part of the fun, part of the challenge of photography. Another video here. Hold tight. Here we go.
Looking for something interesting. Where's the interesting stuff?
Exactly. Where's the interesting stuff? Let me back up here. I think it was over here. Yeah, this little rock here, this little piece of concrete had a little nail in it with the wire. That's where I took that other photo there. So let me back up. Hello. Oops. Yeah, this nail here was in there. And where was that? Here, this block of cement here. That's where that little nail was. So I was leaning on that thing close up with my camera, getting that little picture of the nail. So again, we're looking for shapes. We're looking for interesting stuff amidst the detritus here. That's really the challenge. Just walking through a scrapyard, looking to create beautiful photos out of scrap and trash. Fun challenge. Another little swirl. This guy was kind of cute. I like this guy. Let me do a little develop mode here. Let's do a bit of development. So probably going to stretch out the contrast a little bit. Here, looking at the histogram, boom, brings up some vibrance in the colors also. We just don't stretch it too much. Oh, nice. And maybe some whites. Brighten up the whites, not too far. Drop the highlights a bit, get a bit more texture in there. There we go. What about clarity? No, clarity sort of augments the contrast in certain regions, but I don't really want that. Cool. If we go slash, before, after, before, after. Nice. Yeah, just boost up the exposure just a little bit, stretch out the contrast, and this little guy pops out. So I intentionally cut right this character to have it more of a portrait of the character. And I wonder if it was able to see here. Was it anywhere here? No, I think it was over here further, so we don't really see it here. Sorry. Let's go back. Sorry, Lightroom's a bit slow sometimes with the video. Yeah, so just looking for little characters, little abstract lines. Oh, there it is. There's my little character. So again, I really cropped in tight on this to get this one, right? And this on its own is a kind of an interesting photo. At least your eye can sort of come along this wall. There's a tree here. There's another wall this way, another wall this way, a bit of sky. So it's sort of, you're trying to just balance the elements, the ground, the sky, the wall. Often it's good to take this at an oblique angle. So to be looking at it oblique, and then you have the two perspectives coming away, and then another wall, so your eye kind of stops here and looks at the smokestack and the sky and comes back. So yeah, this is kind of nice. Give you a sense of the place. Another video here, I think.
Spotted this graffiti.
Spent a lot of
Looking
time
for some shapes.
looking for shapes. Yeah, looking for shapes. Looking for shapes. There, we found some shapes, right? We kind of zoomed in on this area. It looks like a little eye that's looking out, and then we've got some of the texture and the wood. The peeling of the paint and the wood also adds a sort of an element there. But this one was a bit boring, perhaps. This one was kind of interesting. Might do a little develop on that, just boost up the whites a little bit and drop the blacks so they're really black. Boost up a bit of clarity, a bit of texture in there. That's kind of neat. Another shape there. Again, you saw that big wall of graffiti. Now we've sort of zoomed in here, zoomed in here, zoomed in here, zoomed in here, looking for interesting shapes. And you can just rotate the camera also. I mean, you don't need to be stuck at all in just taking things horizontal or vertical, because the graffiti is all over the place. So often if you angle the camera sometimes to capture something, then the lines of the graffiti are going to be then aligned horizontally within the image, which can make it interesting. So that's part of the challenge on this kind of graffiti stuff. Here I'm playing again with the shallow depth of field, f4, with my little Fuji. Kind of just was an interesting just texture here. I wanted to just grab that, so it's kind of nice. But I mean, again, like keeping this in part in the image also. So your eye kind of looks here. Oh, there's a friend here. That's the key that goes in here. Oh, it's all rusted up. Okay, and then there's a little padlock or something and a little chain that comes around. So again, having places for your eye to come in and then not leave the image is the key there. I think this was changing the F number, F8, a bit more depth of field. You can see a bit more detail. Not sure which one I prefer. This one's a bit more exposed too. Yeah. And just various detritus on the rocks. This rock was kind of split nicely in half. It was interesting to see that. Bunch of bolts and stuff. Global view here with a bit of sky. And maybe we drop the highlights a little bit there. Get a bit more detail in there and a bit more in the shadows. Boost it up. Yeah. Again, a tree here, you can follow the line of the building. There's a few different perspective lines to follow along here, along here, along here, along here. Bit of cloud, another tree here, sort of, mirroring this tree here. So it's kind of nice. Actually, I'll make this a pick. So what I need to do, well, I did it last night. I picked my top 15 and I do it rapidly. I'm really getting, well, more intuitive there, but then it's fun in the morning to relook at what you chose and make some different kind of selections. So here we are, more graffiti. The starburst kind of spoke to me, but ultimately it's a bit busy, it's a bit overbearing, perhaps. It looked like two little eyes and a little smile here initially. But maybe it's too close in because you see a lot of texture. There's a lot of texture in that wall. It's maybe a bit distracting from the colors. I don't know. Yeah, this looked like a kind of a gun or something. I was a bit disturbed. But you see a lot more detail of the wall, which is kind of interesting but kind of boring also. Video, more video.
More graffiti. Find the fun stuff.
Find the fun stuff. Indeed. Was there anything here? I think here was where I took a few of those ones. Yeah, there's the little gun there. There's the starburst is there, right? So I was really zoomed in like here and here on those other photos. If I go back, this one, this one, this one, those are all in this little zone here. Another one, the stars. This one I quite liked. It had this sort of element of the building and the cracks and then these little points here and a fun of I like this sort of circular shape. Keeps you in the image. I quite like this one. Again, that's really zoomed in on that wall, looking for just cutting down. If you, like the problem is when you take a photo of graffiti that's really wide angle, like a lot of elements, it's like where do you look? What am I looking at? Like okay, nice, it's some graffiti, but zoom in and just make it abstract is one of the techniques really to for photographing graffiti. This was a piece of corrugated iron down on the ground. I'm above it, sort of looking down like that. But it's interesting from the texture point of view, but ultimately maybe kind of boring. But why don't we just do a little develop here and see what we can salvage? A bit black in there. It was maybe underexposed. Don't want to do it too much, but bring down the highlights. Get a bit more texture in there. Bit of clarity maybe. Crank up the clarity. Get some texture coming out. This is kind of neat. This is something I could use in like Touch Designer. You could like procedurally generate this kind of cracking textures on a surface. Black and white. No. There's no real like strong point of the image except for this hole, but a hole is not really a strong point. There's nothing interesting to look at there. But it's kind of nice. I like that. Oh, another video here. It was fun to take little short videos with my Fuji, even though the exposure is a bit wonky. I was playing with different techniques.
More graffiti. Looking for something interesting.
Looking for something interesting. So I did find some interesting stuff. This one, of course, drew my attention. And you want to play with, when you're playing with taking photos of a graffiti portrait, you want to sort of zoom in on elements and cut off the head, just have the eyes only or one eye and a nose. And this is how I like to roll. Because just a picture of the face is just a picture of a face. You want to zoom in on some emotional element in there. So let me go to the next one. Oh, this element. This was here. The little round, 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 I think. Yeah, exactly. But it's kind of boring in the end. Playing with little elements there. If I go back, there's some elements like, where was that? I don't know, somewhere here, here. Oh yeah, here, right? I'm zooming in really close on like this area, on this area, looking for abstract shapes that are attractive ultimately and that sort of feel like they're telling some kind of story. And here we are with, right, I've zoomed in. I really wanted to just have the, like, this is intense, right? Just the eyes. I like that. Let's develop that a little bit. Need a bit more in the whites. More texture. The eyes are okay, actually. Well, even brighter. Blacks. No. Shadows. Bit darker is nice. clarity is going to kind of boost a bit of contrast in there. Nice. Those little wires coming out there. So yeah, zoom in on the portrait, really cut off elements and just focus in on the eyes. Focus in just a bit of a mouth and a bit of eyes. Like it's kind of interesting. Just looking at the exposure there, we could, oh, I've already boosted up the contrast here. Let me just undo that, undo this. Whites, no. Highlights come down. Blacks get stretched. Shadows go down. Bit of clarity. It's kind of nice, yeah. Ah, yes, this recalls my latest energy sketch about reclaiming our industrial heritage. There's a water tower over on another abandoned building, for not probably not abandoned, but graffitied en masse building a bit further down. Yeah, with a bit of sky. Again, looking for textures, looking for interesting lines, interesting structures. A bit too busy this one. I was just trying to just like capture just a little bit of that. And then I zoom in again, and this is maybe interesting. Maybe exposure, bring up the whites a little bit. Not too far. Highlights, blacks. Shadows. Yeah. Plumbing coming in through the building with graffiti. Kind of zen, a little arrow and a little twig, but ultimately maybe a bit boring. Another video here. Graffiti, graffiti, everywhere graffiti.
Find something fun.
Yeah, find something fun. Find something fun. There's something kind of fun. That was kind of neat. Little shapes. More shapes. More shapes. More shapes. Someone hanging out on the water container out in the field. Kind of, there's something quite cute, quite quaint about this one I found. Again, this was angled, so I angled my camera appropriately to line this character up vertically and then horizontally. I prefer the horizontal. It's got a bit more of the wisps, the little wispiness here, wispiness of the smoke coming out, so it's cool. Nice little shapes. Here I'm playing with the angle. I like the off-kilter angle here, but it's a bit boring. Not much to draw your attention. A lot of busy shapes, So I could have like zoomed way in here. Then you're very close to the wall. The texture is going to take a lot more of a place in the photo, but that's okay. This was kind of fun. Zoop, zoop, like two elements and kind of like twins, so you can bounce back and forth and you can find a path between them. Oh, you get on this and then you come over here and then there's a bit of a wave. And this was all very intentionally composed in this way. Limiting that with the cutting the black here, cutting the black here, having these two elements. So this is all really part of the composition while you're there, and it's kind of like practice and instinct, that brings you there. Yeah, zoomed in a bit, but this line kind of whoop, kind of cuts, and then zip, your eye kind of leaves the image, I find. So, okay, now we're on to a new graffiti area. Let me go back to Google Maps. That was this building here. So then we took a little walk. Let me zoom out a little bit here. Walk through here, walk down here. This was a weird little area here. There's like people's homes here next to like a business with a bunch of trucks, truck repair, landscaping companies, Really interesting, really interesting. And we walked through here, through a little park, and then you're right by the highway. And boom, this building here, Montreal Paper Cutting. So we walked along the other side of the road here, zooming in on elements of this graffiti right here. So let's go back to Lightroom, show you the video. If Lightroom's responding, hello.
More graffiti. Find the fun stuff.
Yeah, find the fun stuff. So walk it, that's where you can see this, right? We just saw that one. We go back a moment. Go back here. Go. Yeah. Oh, yeah. We were already at this building, right? We were already here. So this was at the old place. Now we're at the new place. This little character, this little squiggle here, this little squiggle here. So we can zoom over. Here, there's the little character smoking the cigar. So I kind of cut it horizontally, a bit of an angle. Grab this little shape here. Also, where was the other one? Here, this little shape here, right? That was composed. So that's what we're up to. We're just like zooming in on different elements of that graffitied wall, looking for something interesting, something attractive, making an attractive composition. This was kind of just a little scène de rue, fire hydrant. Kind of like this, the wall. Again, like taking a doorway, you want to take it at an angle at like 45 degrees so you have some texture. You have this wall, you see the stairs going up, your eye sort of looks through here, and then there's more detail in here and a bit of a wall, and then you come down and it's all framed up. There's other elements here and the sign. So this is sort of a little scene, creating that scene. Often with doorways like that, it's good to take it at an angle. If you just take it head on, it's kind of boring. There's no texture, there's no leading lines, perspective lines that sort of move you around. Although you want to have a reference here, which is the vertical lines and the horizontal lines here, but then you've got these obliques and these different, perspectives that are coming together. Zoomed in, kind of boring. More shapes. I like this one. It sort of lands on the ground and then zoom. This one comes in, so it's kind of fun. Just your eye can kind of wander and go down here and come around here and then through this and yeah. Zoomed in on the paint can. Zoomed in again. I don't like this one. I prefer this one. It's just a bit tighter, right? There's a lot of elements here. There's the sky, which is okay, but a bit distracting. There's nothing about the sky. There's no texture in the sky, so might as well just cut straight to the interesting stuff. Pardon me, I'll get another sip of coffee here. In future, I should probably cover the logo there. There's a risk of copyright infringement. Pardon me. This dude here, again, taking a portrait and really cutting and focusing on the expression, right? A picture of someone's whole head is boring. You want to just like cut it off here and here so that you can look through the eyes, the nose, follow all the details, follow all the texture, the smile. Yeah, I do like this one. It's a neat little character. Same thing with the hands, kind of zoomed in, but not that interesting, that one. Abstract shapes again. Another character that we zoomed in on. Looks like they're smelling the little flowers and sort of, oh, surprised. It smells good. Ooh. This one's a bit less interesting. So you missed the nose and the mouth, right? The mouth and the eyes is really where the expression is. So this is missing the mouth. More abstract shapes, looking for something interesting. Here's a video of the whole thing. If Lightroom would cooperate. Oh, we were zoomed in. That's weird.
More graffiti. Find the fun stuff.
Indeed. Find the fun stuff. So I found some fun stuff. Here, right, for the one picture, I'm cutting in here, zoomed in here. For other ones, I'm just sort of zoomed in here. Just a little bit of texture, right? This picture is boring. There's way too many elements that we don't know where to look. So you're just looking all around. So you really got to work hard to zoom in on elements of the graffiti. Like this, find some abstract shape and compose. You have a really a freedom of composition in graffiti to rotate, zoom in and out, and really sort of keep elements or not have elements and really create a picture of that graffiti. That's kind of graffiti of itself. It's cool in that sense. It's sort of meta. And then sometimes you have these textures that add another level of detail to the image. I think there was like Marge Simpson was in the video somewhere, holding a glass of ice. Yeah. This looked like a sort of a little bonhomme, a little jolly person. Ah, hello, I'm here. It was kind of fun. And some industrial equipment on the edge of the building, but a bit boring maybe. But it's got nice colors in the back though, and a soft blurred focus there. So probably at f2 with my little Fuji. Nice. Actually, I like this. With this texture in the back and this color on the side, it keeps you in the image. It's fun. There's just a nice little portrait of the abandoned building with the pink house I was showing you earlier. We could develop this up a little bit by stretching the whites in the sky, dropping the highlights to get a bit more texture in the sky and boost up the shadows a little bit to equalize, brighten it up. Maybe we drop the blacks a little bit. And then we could do specific development just on the sky or just not on the sky. So maybe we'll try that. We're going to add a mask here. We're going to say sky. It's going to use artificial intelligence to select the sky. We're going to click here. It's going to say invert. So now we've got this red overlay on everything except the sky. And then what we can do is play with the detail here, clarity. Boom, boost up that clarity in everything but the sky. That's nice. And then we say close. There we go. Let's see, before and after. Before, after, before, after, before, after. Nice. Actually, I like this one. I'd crop it in a little bit on the right. Bit of boring stuff there. Bit of sky. Something like that. These two elements and this thing. I love seeing this cyclone. Yeah, nice. Zoomed in here on the cyclone. Again. The pink house and a bit of cyclone. There's the Lachine Canal. Folks are walking their dogs, cycling. It's a pretty chill spot. Nice spot. Okay, that's it for today's tour, folks. So let's go back to filter by attribute picked. Those are all our picks. Picks of the day from the zone trash, industrial zone. So hope you enjoyed the tour, folks. Thanks so much for tuning in for this part of the stream. Because now I think we're a bit early, but we're going to take our stretch now. Take your stretch. Let's go back to Logi plus graphics. Take your stretch and let's log it in. Let's log it in. So /time end of photo share. Let's go to screen 2 with Logi for our logseek notes here on the stream. So sharing photos. Oops. From zone trash. Day 3 of Vacances Photo. Date published / today. Okay, so we did our photo share. What this is done / done. Now we're going to do some log seek, some energy sketch, some touch designer, some slow-mo videos, some this, some that, some this, some that. I'm not sure. For today, we could brainstorm on business ideas for michaeljohnson.tv production studios, but I don't think we're going to do that on the stream today. So folks, that's it for today's stream. I hope you enjoyed the tour. We'll be back tomorrow, 8:12 a.m. Eastern Time, when we will share photos from our adventures in the Ile Bizarre swampy park area, nice nature and reflections of sky in the swamps and water and trees and all of this lovely, lovely stuff. So thanks so much for tuning in, folks. Be well. See you tomorrow, 8:12 a.m. Eastern.